Well, hello there, our most amazing friends. Welcome to the Weekend Win Call. We are so excited to see your most beautiful faces and handsome faces, if you like that more. So, um, give us just a second, guys. We are letting people into this room, but I'm really, really excited. Today, we plan to talk about weekend boredom. Has anybody experienced boredom on the weekend? Boredom, period. Has anybody ever boredom ate? Like you're not hungry, you don't know why, you grab the Cheez-Its or the Skinny Pop. That comes up a lot, right, Miss Brandy? Skinny Pop comes, I see you, girl. Skinny Pop comes up a lot, and before people know it, they eat the whole bag. And it's just a thing. So we understand this and we wanted to address this. And look at all of these people coming into this room, you guys. Okay, they heard the topic, they want to be here. So this should let you know you are not alone. Gaia, Nay, girl, I am so happy to see you. Love you. All right, so I'm going to share my screen and we will get started. Really quick, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Miss Monica. I have been a part of this amazing community going on 7 years. This program has allowed me and enabled me to lose 167 pounds. Whoop whoop, that's like the size of a human man. And keep that off for 7 years, okay? Because what this program really provides is an elevated mindset, okay? So that we can work through all of the kinks. And I experienced weekend boredom. I still experience weekend boredom. And to not grab the Cheez-Its is a choice, but it took some time to get to where I'm at. And so I share this with you to say, thank you, Becky. I love you. For those of you that don't know Becky Flamong, you want to know her. Without her, we would not be here on this call. So thank you, Becky, for having a hand in saving my life. All right. So yeah, 7 years, guys, 167 pounds. I'm going to share my screen, pull up these slides, and we will get going. Oh, this says start the slideshow. Is that what I want? Or is this a new button for me? Must be updated. Hi, Nicole. Hey, friends, wherever you're at, tell me where you're from. That's what I would like to know. Where are you from? And maybe something you're excited about.
Thank you guys for all hopping on in here. I'm giving Monica a little patience while she gets her slides together. We're really excited. You can also share this if you go to or if you go to Melody Banky or Monica's page. It should be on there if you want to share it onto your page.
All right, guys. So like we mentioned, today we're going to be talking about winning the weekend and how to deal with boredom, maybe weekend boredom, but boredom in particular. This call will be a quick 30 minutes. You will have an opportunity to ask questions at the end. So write them down if you have them as they come up and save them for the end. We will be off at 5:30. I'm super excited that tonight we're actually going to start with somebody who is very near and dear to my heart. My friend Joanna is going to share just a little bit from her perspective as she is beginning program, what she is experiencing. It's very real and very raw. And I think it's very helpful to hear in somebody else's words why they have decided to do a plan, more importantly, do this plan with us. So, Miss Joanna, can you take that away?
Hi, I'm Joanna. So yeah, I learned about this plan from my aunt while I was on vacation and working remotely 2 months ago. And I was, listening to her, and she was telling me about Monica and how she's a very inspiring woman. And then she ended up buying me this program to help me save my life. So I have high blood pressure. This 2 weeks ago thought I possibly had a blood clot. So when I let Monica know when I was coming home, which was the 31st of May, that I was serious about this program to save my life. I need her help and the program to save my life. today's my day 3. I went into the office and they had a luncheon. When people asked me why I wasn't partaking, I told them because I'm saving my life. I'm working a diet that's going to help me to live longer for myself and my grandbabies. And they were very encouraging, like right on. But today, I felt aggravated, aggravated, and I normally don't feel that way unless it's honestly that time of the month or something. But I know it's not that time of the month, so it's my body detoxing, telling me like all that junk, it's poison. So I'm gonna stick it through, and with your guys' help, that's my plan, is to save my own life.
Amen, girl. And you're doing it. You guys put some love in the chat for Joanna, maybe some words of encouragement, because it is not easy to share so vulnerably, right? And this is what we do. Rule number 1 is we take responsibility for what's happening. I know today that she mentioned to me was National Donut Day. I didn't know that because I don't go into an office, right? But apparently it's National Donut Day. So the staff brought in a whole slew of probably the yummiest looking things. It probably sounded very good. But because we're on a mission, right, we have to stay focused. And so we're going to give you some real tools today on how to focus. And I'm going to be really honest with you guys. It is a mental gym that needs to be created and built in your brain in order for you to ninja slay through this whole process. Okay. And we're going to give you some of those so that you can put them in your brain and start to use them as you go along. So thank you, Joanna. That was so, so good. I really appreciate your honesty. We are saving your life each hour, each day, each week at a time. All right. So with that, I'm super excited to be partnering with Dawn Pernell. Coach Dawn, are you there? She's going to go ahead and get us started today on her perspective of dealing with the weekend. She coaches a huge team. Awesome. I will let her take it away.
I'm here. I hope folks can hear me. I am Dawn Pernell. I lost 62 pounds over the course of 6 months. And I have kept it off for the most part, give or take 5 pounds, since October. And so I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to share. I'm so happy to engage with you all. Apologies, I got a little bit of background noise, but I'm with you guys. So I wanted to share a little bit about weekend boredom. So I don't know about many of you, but I have 2 kids, and one of my son, my oldest, plays travel ball. So typically for weekends, we are super, super swamped. So anytime I got an opportunity to kind of sit at home and be, Netflix and chill, that was my thing. But I don't know, as Monica mentioned in the beginning, how many of you have had that experience where you Netflix and chill. You typically didn't eat. And that's what I would do. I wasn't hungry, but it's noon. So it's time for lunch. And I'm still not hungry, but it's 2 o'clock. And my favorite Golden Girls episode is on. And so I'm going to have some cheesecake, right? Because that's what the Golden Girls do. I got comfortable in eating and watching TV. It was almost reflex, right? It was comfort. TV was comfort. Movies were comfort. Food was comfort. However, when I decided to do this program, I had to shift. So I want to tell you, I'm sorry, I can't see your name. It says Lenovo Smart Tab, but the woman who just shared, who's on day 3, I want to tell you that where you are is so where you should be. Day 3 is irritable. It's cranky. It takes a lot of work to sort of shift. And the reality is, getting to where we want to be, true transformation takes change. And change is uncomfortable. It can be painful. It can be I don't even have any other adjectives, but you are essentially moving out of your comfort zone. You are moving out of the things that you typically do, and now you have to do something else. So what that meant for me on days of boredom is I had to figure out something else to do, which meant that TV wasn't as optimal for me as I needed to be. So what did that mean? That meant I got to get to those to-do lists that I didn't really want to do. I've been putting off things like spring cleaning, things like working on my own goals beyond the weight loss, because I was already doing that. But getting into things to get myself out of that humdrum, I'm watching TV, I'm going to eat mentality. And so I want to encourage you all. Actually, let's get engaging. Let's put a 1 in the chat for anybody who has some major goals that they would like to accomplish beyond the weight loss. Maybe it's starting a book. Maybe it's starting your own business. Maybe it's I have no idea. You want to get a new license in a particular area. You want to I have no idea. Learn how to groom your dog. I have no idea. But put a 1 in the chat for me. Okay. So good strategy is to begin working on that goal. What are some key things that you can begin doing right now to get started on that goal? And maybe break it up by those weekends that you have a little downtime. The other thing I would say, if you don't have a major goal that you want to accomplish, you is a great goal. Maybe there are some things beyond the life book that you can be working on. I just started a new audio book that's on personal development, and the title of it is, oh my gosh, come on, Dawn. Sorry, ladies. I'm trying to pull it up. The Mountain is You by Brianna Weiss. And it's all about transforming self-sabotage and self-mastery. And so I am choosing to take time out to develop myself. There are tons of things that we can do. I think that's one of the beautiful things about our program and how it shifts our focus from living to eat to eating to live, is that we get to refocus ourselves on our goals and what it is that we want to accomplish. So that is what I have. I'm going to turn it back over to Monica, but I'm so excited to see all these beautiful faces on the call.
Thank you. That was so good, Dawn. Such great feedback. You guys, whatever takeaways you got from that, or maybe something you'll implement this week, something you heard that stood out, can you put it in the chat? Because trust me, Dawn will go back and we'll read your comments to hear the nuggets, because we like hearing what was meaningful for you. All right, so let's go on to our next slide. And continuing on with this, you guys, you probably heard a lot of things via Joanna and Dawn. And here's the first thing that you need to identify within yourself. And it takes a great level of honesty. Okay? How ready and committed are you to change? To make these changes on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you? That's the first thing you need to evaluate. How many of you have dug into this beautiful life book that you have been given? I got to tell you, I talk about this so much. People call me and they're like, how do I get that Bible thing that you're always talking about? I need a new life. I need to transform my life. I need a life book. Element number 2 has all of these evaluations for you that will give you different things to factor about yourself and how committed and ready you are to change those things. So the first ones it asks you is how important is it for you to change your eating habits? How important is it for you? The next one is, how confident are you that you can change your eating habits? Let me tell you, when I started this plan, you guys, and I was 300 pounds and I had tried every diet under the moon, sun, and stars and on planet Earth, how confident was I? I was like at a number 2. But it was important for me to know that. And then over the course of time, Now I can tell you I'm like at a level 8. Okay, so just know that where you start is not where you're going to stay. Thank goodness. And that's the whole point. So I would love for you to spend some time in element 2 and really dissect. How committed are you to moving more? How committed are you to improving sleep? How committed are you to getting rid of the toxicity in your life? This is people, places, and things. Okay, how committed are you? First, take a look at that. Share it with your coach so that your coach knows where we need to work. Does that make sense? Okay, that's the first thing. Take an evaluation of where you're at. The good news is that's not where you'll stay, but you need to know, your coach needs to know, so we can move forward together. Here's the next thing. I mentioned to you that we needed to create a mental gym. It's a mental gymnasium that is going to help you choose your goals and not the pizza, or choose your goals and not indulge in donut day, or choose your goals and not have a drink at the beautiful restaurant just because it's pretty, right? You got to choose accordingly. So let me just read you this story really quick. And if you guys are looking for the most wonderful self-help book you could ever find, I want you to start with this one. It's called The 12 Shifts. And it was actually written by our mentor coach, Jamil Frazier. Becky Flamong, once again, I'm going to say her name, is who actually brought Jamil Frazier into our organization. He is a best-selling author, has literally gone from Section 8 to being a millionaire. The philosophies that he created or used to take himself to the next level are all in this book. And there's 12 shifts. So let me read you this story. I think that it will resonate. Just bear with me and try and digest what I'm trying to throw out. Chapter 1, I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am helpless. It isn't my fault, and it takes forever to find my way out. Chapter 2, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place. But it isn't my fault. It still takes time for me to get out. Chapter 3, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it there. This time, I don't fall in. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my responsibility to stay out of there, or if I fall in, to get out immediately. So this is a metaphor, right? For 9 o'clock comes around, Golden Girls comes on, Dawn used to plant herself on the couch and go grab the ice cream. This is walking down the same street. 9 o'clock comes every day, you guys. Work, National Donut Day comes every year, every day, you guys. These are the same streets, but it's you that has to have the mind shift to not go into that hole, to acknowledge it. Look, the second time he said, I pretend it's not there. Oh, it's National Donut Day. Screw it. One won't hurt me. This is the pretending we do. You got to build a mental gym to commit to the change. Okay. Tell me in the chat a philosophy you grew up with. Something your parents used to say all the time, and it can be random. One for me was money doesn't grow on trees. Another one was you better finish everything on your plate. It could be don't talk to strangers. What was a philosophy you grew up hearing? Tell me one. I just want to see. Clean your plate. Don't waste it. Yes, these are common. If you fill your plate, you got to finish it. Absolutely. Clean your plate. Clean your plate. I love you guys. You know, I have a friend who brought home like 6 dozen of these donuts on graduation day because they were giving them to all of the kids on graduation day. Krispy Kreme was giving away dozens of donuts. And so the kids were lining up to get them and they're bringing them home. And one of these moms was like, don't bring this home. So she gave it to another. This one kid walked home with 6 dozen donuts. And the mom said, well, what am I supposed to do? We can't throw them away. We just can't. And I'm like, why? You didn't pay for them. Where did we get this idea? And it goes back to those philosophies we were taught as a kid, you know, don't waste it, clean it up. You know, there's starving children in Africa. I don't know. These are philosophies that were embedded in us and we live by them. So I want to give you a new philosophy. And this is Hot 6 number 1. You're going to get some new philosophies while you're in this community to live by. And here's the next one. We need to lead from the future and act in the now. You need to lead from the future and act in the now. That means that when you see the donuts, you know that donuts are going to be there forever. Mrs. Debbie, Hostess, and Krispy Kreme are not going out of business in the next 90 days while you're on your plan. Even if you're on your plan for the next year, they're not going anywhere. Okay, so you need to lead from the future and act in the now. That means you have delayed gratification. I can't see the chat, so if you're laughing at me, it's okay. I'm just going to keep going. It's a delayed gratification mindset that needs to occur. So when you do this and you take responsibility, you go from blaming others. Here's a story. I have a friend whose husband loves cookies. He brings cookies home all the time. She says she can't lose weight because her husband brings home cookies. In my mind, she's blaming him and she's a victim to the cookies and to him. But I asked the question, who puts the cookies in her mouth? Who swallows them? Who does that motion? Did he shove them down her throat? No. And I'm being really real, guys. You know, like this is honesty. So you got to think about this. Is it your husband's fault he brought home Taco Bell? Is it the kids' fault that they've got gummies in the pantry? Or are you just being a victim and blaming everybody and refusing to take responsibility and go down a new street? So the mental gym I want you to practice this week is not being a victim, but being a victor and being a creator. Like Dawn said, you're going to have to figure out something else you could do. And like she also said, it's going to be uncomfortable. I remember the first time you told me I could not eat pizza and I had to go figure out my life. I was pissed. I wasn't happy about it. But I was also so sick and tired of not being able to walk to my car or tie my shoes or standing in the mirror for 75 minutes trying to find an outfit to wear that would cover my fupa. That's not cool. So what can you do? All right. I just want to tell you a lot of things that we said today, a lot of you are not ready for right now, and that's okay. But there's a lot of things that we said right now that I'm sure you took with you. So we always say there's those things that ruminate in your head, and there's some that landed in your heart. Just take the ones that landed in your heart that you felt that you were open to working on for yourself and work on them this week. One of the things that I want to encourage you to do is to find somebody who models the type of identity that you want to embody. So for instance, when I'm 300 pounds and I want to wear clothes like all the cute girls do, I used to admire Tyra Banks. Fashion model, runway model, super pretty girl. I watched an interview with her one day And she said, I don't drink. Drink? Me? What? No. I gotta be up in the morning and like focus. Oh no. And it was like crazy talk to have a glass of wine. No, I'm Tyra Banks. No, I do not drink. And when I heard it at that time, I was like, oh, she's crazy. Oh, that's what Rich, like, it was so far out of my spectrum that I was like, I just heard it. Rob Dyrdek, he hosts a show on TV. It's called Ridiculousness. Some of you might know him. He's super funny. He's a skateboarding guy. He comes across as like just super chill. I expect he has a beer every now and then. But I saw an interview of him last Thursday. Guess what? He absolutely does not drink. He only eats clean. He has the finest ingredients. He exercises his body every day. He meditates and journals every morning. Rob Dyrdek? I was like, what? This is a skateboarding dude. You know why? He said, because he needs to be at the top of his game. He's constantly refining his processes, his businesses, his productivity. He's constantly elevating himself and he needs to be on point. We don't just sit on the couch, open the skinny pop and call it a day. No, that's at that level. So what I'm sharing with you is not to make you feel bad or no judgment, but people like Tyra Banks and Rob Dyrdek and the people that you see on TV that have all of these amazing things, they have an elevated mindset, number one. So how can we close the gap for you? Okay. And then the last thing I'll tell you, because I am going over, is a story about a man who came onto this plan because he could not stop drinking. And that drinking was having him eat haphazardly. And so every single night when his wife would come home, because she worked nights after a long day, and she would say, honey, can you take me to go get something to eat? He would say, no, I've been drinking. I can't go order something. In a very ugly tone. The house was a mess and he was sitting on the couch. You know what this caused? Really bad relationship. And the underlying thing that was causing him to go sit on the couch and have a beer was he needed to relax because he was so angry about a whole entirely different situation that had nothing to do with her. But when you start to take a look at it and reel it in and you take responsibility, it's like, gosh, look at how this is impacting everything. So he gets on plan. And at nighttime, when he wanted his beer, he had to figure out what else he could do. And he started tinkering with things. And you know what happened at the end of 3 days? He had fixed more broken drawers in the house than he'd ever known were available. He'd cleaned more closets. He'd cleaned out the garage. He had like literally cleaned all the window seals. And he said that was cool, but you know it was even cooler? When his wife got home, dinner was made. He was waiting for her, happy, not drunk and disoriented. And she was happy for it. So they're better. Irregardless of how this is impacting his health, it's impacting his life in this way. So you got to figure out what else you can do. I don't want to keep us too long, but I do want to leave some room for any questions or any feedback that you have with this. It's got to start with one.
I just want to say one thing. On the boredom eating, sometimes we can also have boredom eating because we're tired. And so that was something that I would notice because my schedule, I work very early in the morning, so my sleep is off. And I started noticing a certain part of my day, because again, I had to become observant. Why do I always want to eat between 1 and 3 o'clock? And what I realized was that I was lacking sleep. And so instead of mindlessly eating, which is what I would do, like I could open a bag of Skinny Pop and probably eat like half of it or close to all of it. I started taking a nap. I scheduled a nap into my day, and then that closed that gap. I had to figure out what it was I was actually needing. And what I was needing wasn't food or snacking. It was actually, I just needed to get some sleep. So be aware of, like, if you're being triggered by something, like, what's going on? Are you missing, is your sleep sloppy, or is something angering you? Sometimes it's emotions, relationships, or flight, just like all tense, and go take a walk or something instead of reaching for a glass of wine or a bag of chips or a candy bar. So just if you start to notice there's a pattern, look for the pattern. Just like Monica was saying with the guy that was drinking, there was a pattern there. You're going to find your patterns and just work on dissecting those patterns, and then you will come up with your own solutions, and they'll actually work, because if you get into the book, the answers come to you because you're asked the right questions.
Absolutely. Any other last minute tips? Thank you so much for that, Mel. Ready to start? All right, Fern, I love you. Good. Okay, you guys. So listen, we do this call every Thursday. I would love for you to just invite your friends on. Okay, this is a collective community who is just trying to improve habits, mindset. There is no judgment here. If you want your friends to check out, like, hey, like, you are not alone. Come on this call with me. You're more than, you're welcome to invite them to this. So we gave you this today as a tool, 12 shifts. Okay, you might want to check this out. It's a great book on having shifts yourself. Element number 2, please identify your readiness. How ready are you to actually change all of these things? And what aren't you ready to change? That would be good to know, and go from there. Thank you, Joanna, for being so vulnerable and sharing. We're all there with you. Girl, day 3, you're going to crush this. Don't you worry. Okay, we got everybody here supporting you. Okay, and may I ask just one thing? Because I asked this last week and it touched some nerves. So I'm just asking for permission to toss this ball out. Do I have your permission? Don't hate me. I have the best of intentions and I love you. I need you to figure out how you're going to start sharing that you're doing this. Kim, I saw your eyes get real big, girlfriend. Don't get scared. Share with a friend, share on your socials, share in the group what you're doing to hold yourself accountable. I know that feels like jumping into the Grand Canyon, but I promise you won't die. And it's going to inspire somebody just like Joanna, I know, inspired some of you with her very, vulnerable share. And that lets people know they're not alone and that there's a solution and people out there, and they're going to want to talk to you about it, and that will help you. So I want to encourage you to put some sort of post on your page. Thank you, Coach Mel B, for being so amazing. Kim K, I am so excited that I'm getting my water in. Whew. Thank you to my coach. Something. And let the world know that you are proud that you're saving and transforming yourself. Okay? I love you. 5:35, we're 5 minutes late. I won't keep you, but we will be back here next week. This will be streamed in the group. You can share it with your friends. Talk to you soon.